Hi, my name is Rick Cuvell from Margate, Florida, and I'm a announcer, writer, producer, director, DJ, and I'm also a writer, and I write a lot of different types of stories, and I appreciate you tuning into my channel. Got a little baseball story with a little golf game included in it. It goes like this. 5 friends and I met at my Hal Newhouser and loaded up my Whitey Ford minivan for our Burt Bly-11th trip from Orlando, Cepeda, Florida to Cooperstown, New York in the Baseball Hall of Fame. On the trip are my next Bobby door neighbor Jack, his 2 damn brothers Casey and Will, my Uncle Charlie, and his friend, a new Bob feller named Homer. Everyone pitched in for gas, and I gave my wife a big Miller Huggins, and we hit the road. We hadn't even gotten off my Lou Brock when the conversation started about steroids, and I said without the Sandy Koufax, I didn't think you could keep a worthy player out of the Hall without a Lehman failed drug test. We moved on to talking about if we were going to Roy Campanella the first night or find a hotel. Uncle Charlie said there was a nice Hilton Smith just south of Atlanta Braves that had a really good restaurant also, so we agreed to spend the night there, but we needed to stop to refill Rizzuto the Ford Frick and use the restroom. So we were passing from the Jim Palmer-lined highways of the Florida Marlins to the beautiful Georgia ride to Pine Countries when a red Bill Mazeroski went by us doing about 100 miles an hour. So we decided to take the next Dennis Eckersley off the highway. The sun was Don Sutton and I needed a nap LaJoie. Next to the gas station was a George Sisler steakhouse, so we decided to stop for a quick bite to eat. It was seafood night, so I ordered the Catfish Hunter with the Jim Rice. Uncle Charlie had Bob Lemon crusted Frankie fish. Jack ordered the Thai Cobb salad. Casey and Willie both wanted the Dolphin Raleigh fingers, and Homer got the King Kelly crab legs. The food was delicious, and our waitress was as sweet as Candy Cummings. We all had a piece of apple pie trainer, then paid the bill Terry, Lefty Grove a nice tip pitch, and got back on the road. Uncle Charlie took over the driving duties, so I took the Johnny Bench seat in the back to get some sleep. The next thing I knew, they were waking me up to check into the Monte Irvin. I grabbed my Bruce Sutter and my briefcase and went inside, pitched to the front desk. The rooms were nice and big, but it wasn't the Ritz-Carlton Fist, that's for sure. Charlie reminded us of a good restaurant, so we agreed to meet there for breakfast. At 6:30, the restaurant was pretty full, and we were kind of in a hurry, so I ordered the scrambled Lou Gehrig's with the Zach Wheat bagel. Homer got the low-cal Ripken Jr. fruit cup, and Uncle Charlie wanted the turkey Stearns omelet and a Frank Thomas English muffin. Minutes later, Jack, Willie, and Casey joined us, and they apologized for making us wait hoit and starting the Leon day off on the wrong foot. I said, don't make a big Barney Dreyfuss about it, but please don't do it again. Jack said they had some Pop Lloyd tarts so we could still get an early win start. It was a beautiful morning, but a little on the cool Papa Bell side, and we started talking about baseball again as we wound our way through the smoky Kennesaw Mountain Landis, hoping to reach New York bets by nightfall. We were just outside Bucky, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, when we stopped for dinner at a little Italian restaurant. I was thirsty and my throat was Don Drysdale, so I ordered a Cold Harmon Killebrew, which is on sale for $1 Ewing. Jack and his brothers got Captain Joe Morgan's with Coke, and Uncle Charlie and Homer wanted a bottle of Heine Manouche. For dinner, I ordered the large Freddie Lindstrom Stromboli and split it with Uncle Charlie and Homer. The brothers ordered a pepperoni Mike Piazza with the Soul White sauce. The food was really good, and the pizza was so hot it Richie Ashburn Jack's tongue. We paid the bill Vec and got back on the highway. It was getting late when we crossed over into New York Yankees from Pennsylvania, so we decided to spend the night in Binghamton. We were on Route 81 when a Mordecai Brown Yogi Berra came bounding out of the Smoky Joe woods like a Robert Marinville right in front of us. I jammed on the brakes and L.A. dodgered that little country in a slaughter by a few inches. I said a quick prayer to the Anaheim Angels, all of the Cardinals of St. Louis, and the San Diego Padres for helping us miss that little Chicago Cub. A few miles up the road we saw quaint Tony Quinn and decided to stop there for the night. The rooms were very nice and my bed had a nice king-size Al Simmons mattress. I had a hammering Hank Aaron headache and I was kind of dizzy Dean, so I decided to lay down for a few minutes before going to dinner. Everyone else went down to the Al Barlick for a Grey Goose sausage and tonic. I put on some Stan the Man music, jumped into the Bid McPhee, pulled the Willie McCoveys over my head and went to sleep. I slept all night and woke up refreshed and excited about getting the Hank-A-Day started. Jack, Uncle Charlie, Homer, and I had planned to golf, so we grabbed a hot corner cup at Jolt and Joe DiMaggio and hit the links. It was a beautiful Bowie community golf course set in at Grover Alexander by a meandering Brooks Robinson. I was first up in the tee box, so I grabbed my Ben TaylorMade driver and blasted one up the middle of the fairway. We were playing skins, and our normal George Brett is $5 Leonards per hole. On the Mudville 9th hole, I put one in the Wade Boggs and had to use my telescopic rod Carew ball retriever to get it out. And after my drop, I hit a beautiful 4-iron that found the Jim Bottomley of the cup for a birdie. Up next was Uncle Charlie, and he was 160 Camden yards from the pin. He grabbed his Judd Wilson 5-iron and hit a Tony Lazzeri right at the stick. But it hit a big Branch Rickey and fell about 25 yards short. He strike 3 putted for a triple bogey. Jack was 150 yards from the hole, and he used his Al Spalding 9-iron and ended up in the red roughing, and he finished with a bases-loaded double bogey. Homer, he was in the Lewis Sandtop about 100 yards from the pin on a little peat hill. He grabbed his Ryan Sandberg wedge and hit his ball within 3 feet of the protective cup. If he makes his putt, we have the hole, but if he swings and misses, I get the skins. So Al Kane lined up his putt and hit it. It rolled slowly toward the hole. His putt started to the George right, then made a lefty Gomez and stopped just an inch from the hole. I had just won Marichal $135, and the first round of the 19th hole was on me. Those are the only skins anyone with Dave Winfield all day. So we went back to the Tom Glavine and checked out. We headed for Andy Cooperstown, but we needed to refill Necro up first. I grabbed a couple of Babe Ruth candy bars and a bottle of Luke Appling juice, put the Charlie Comiskey in the ignition, and turned on to the main Earl Averill. Jack needed to get some Norm cash, so we stopped at the Ernie Bank so he could use the Oakland ATM. It took a little league more than an hour to get to Cooperstown, and there was a nice restaurant and lounge in the Bobby Alomar, the hotel we stayed at every year. So we agreed to meet at 9 o'clock for dinner and then go have a few cocktails in the lounge. And although Jack, Uncle Charlie, and I are married, the others aren't, and there were plenty of Cy Young women in the lounge. We got a big table in the hot corner and ordered some drinks. Willie and Casey are both fairly Nestor Shylock, and Homer didn't seem interested in meeting a woman at all, but there was some Nellie Foxes in there. I was Tomulous sort of bored, so I said goodnight, paid my bill Dickie, went to my room to see if there was a good Elmer flick on. Homer and Uncle Charlie also had enough and followed me to the elevator. The 3 brothers, they hung around in the bar until closing time, but that's another story. The next day was my wife's birthday, and she was really cool about me, staying with the whole Hall of Fame tradition. So I went to the local florist to send her some flowers. The sales clerk looked at me and said, "I'm sorry, sir. There's no pea roses in Cooperstown." But she said she had some awesome Cincinnati red St. Jeans that she could substitute. I met up with the guys, and we headed over to the Hall of Fame. We saw Reggie Jackson, Andre Dawson, and Willie Mays. Homer said he really Louis Aparicio'd us for inviting him along to baseball heaven. The brothers, although hungover, were having a ball looking at all the baseball history in the Hall of Fame. It was a grand slam home run baker, and if you ever is to tinker the chance to get to go to the Hall of Fame, don't you dare miss it. Thank you for watching.